viewers, welcome to today's live stream program.
邹红瑶老师，让他呢来跟各位网友朋友们一起分享一下
the meteor shower, and I'm joined by my colleague.
那我们今天呢，网友朋友们可以积极登录我们的这个直播间，在我们的评论区留言、许愿、互动。我们呢也是会随时跟我们的这个网友朋友们在进行在这个
So today, in today's program, you're welcome to post your comments you like, and to set up the comment column. Here it's freezing. It's almost minus 20 degrees Celsius. So let's get back into the car.
那邹老师，我们其实是，我在做这个资料准备的时候看到了说这个象限仪流星雨，还有象限仪座流星雨，那差了一个座字，那有什么区别？
So what's the difference between the quadrantid meteor shower and the meteor shower? So what's so different about it? Well, it's about a constellation. The Quadrantid constellation is named by a French scientist. So in 1922, the International Geological Astronomical Organization named this quadrantid. So that's why this meteor shower is named after Quadrantid. So a lot of puzzles and confusions. So altogether, there are 88 constellations. So regarding the name of the meteor shower, it is named after the Quadrantid constellation. So why is the meteor shower named after the constellations? Because when you trace the route of the meteor shower in a backward manner, then it can help identify the location of the meteor shower, and it can locate to different constellations, for example, the Leo constellation. So the Quadrantid meteor shower got its name for the constellation, but today there is no constellation named after Quadrantid anymore. So you mentioned the Quadrantid meteor shower and the Leo meteor shower. So they are one of the top three major meteor showers in the northern hemisphere. So there are different meteor showers in different months. For example, there is the Gemini meteor shower in August, and in December there is Quadrantid meteor shower. This is the season for observing the meteor shower. So it took place in the midnight of January the 3rd and to the dawn of January the 4th. So this year, the Gemini meteor shower will be affected by the moonlight, but that's not the case for the Quadrantid meteor shower. So when the moonlight is very strong, isn't it not friendly for us to observe the meteor shower? You're right, because the starlight is not as strong as the moonlight. So it will make it difficult for us to observe the meteor shower. So we need to find a perfect time. For example, the first half of the lunar calendar. So that will be the perfect time for observing the meteor shower. So the first half of the night and the later half of the night during the first half of the lunar month will be a perfect season for observing the meteor shower instead of the latter half of the lunar calendar of the lunar month. But as long as the meteor shower takes place, the whole night will be perfect for observation. So, compared with the Leo meteor shower, what's the difference and what's the most stunning feature of the Quadrantid meteor shower? Well, the difference lies in the big size, the big number of the meteors. There are over 100 of them, and the speed is much slower, and the route is longer, and the location for the shooting star is quite low. For China, the northern, as you go more and more north, it will be more friendly for observation. So you mentioned one keyword, that is the radiation point. So what is a radiation point? So if you find a backward tracing of the shooting star, you will find the shooting stars coming from one region to another. That is, the starting region is the radiation point. So we mentioned the meteor shower takes place in the quadrantid, but the quadrantid is already displaced. So there is no quadrantid constellation anymore, but there is still meteor shower for quadrantid. So we can also find the radiation point for quadrantid. You mentioned another constellation, the Tianlong constellation. So we also have the Big Dipper. We need to find, because Big Dipper is in the shape of a spoon, if we find the tail of the spoon, then we will find the observation point for the shooting stars. So it's easy to locate. But for the quadrantid meteor shower, as the route is quite low, so it's easy to observe. From 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock until 4 or 5 o'clock until next morning, it will be a perfect time for observation. As we are almost 8 at night, are we ready for observing the meteor shower? Many people may have a misunderstanding. For example, they think they can't witness the meteor shower unless there is a big one. But that's not necessary for observation. If there is a very shining meteor shower, then it's perfect. But even it's not that shiny, it's okay. So if you observe at night at each direction, there will be a meteor shower occurring at any angle. So it's quite accidental. And so it's likely that you can watch the meteor shower at any direction. So why do we recommend people to go to outdoor places that is quite open for observing the meteor shower? So you mentioned we can watch it at any direction. Yes, you're right. Although the quadrantid meteor shower can only be watched at a certain place, we kindly recommend you to go north because that's easier for you to watch it. And you are kindly recommended to go to an open space in the north. That will make it easier. So in the sky, apart from the quadrantid meteor shower, what else can we observe? Because we are in the winter season, I guess we can observe some stars in the winter season. The Big Dipper, as mentioned, in the shape of a big spoon. Apart from the Big Dipper, there is another constellation, the fair in the shape of a W letter, the fairy, the Cassiopeia constellation. And we also have the most easy to identify constellation, the Orion. The Orion consists of one star in above, and one in the middle, and three in below the top two. So I heard a lot about the Big Dipper, but Orion is also easy to observe for ordinary people. You're right. The stars, stars that Orion it consists of are easy to identify because most of the stars are quite shiny. So the seven Orion stars are easy to observe in the midnight sky. And Orion, in the mythology, encompasses the image of a hunter. So its shape represents the shape of a hunter. You also mentioned there are three stars in the middle of the Orion. So it follows a certain law for the formation of the Orion. And Orion normally becomes the first star for the ordinary people to observe. So it's also one of the easiest constellation stars for people to recognize. Now, as the midnight falls, I think there is one very shiny star that is very easy to observe. Well, if you call it very bright, in the southwest part, I guess it is the Jupiter because it has a large size, so it is very shiny, observing from the Earth. So after the sunset, and from the southeast part of the Earth, then you will observe a Sirius. And even in the downtown, it's easy to observe this star. I also mentioned the Orion. Above the Orion, there is a red star. And west of it, there is another star. So the three stars form a triangle in the winter season. So they marks the winter season. So can they be observed with the naked eye? Yes, they can. So in most of the stars in the midnight sky can be observed with the naked eye. But we need to find an open place that is less polluted by the light. If you stay in the downtown, there is a chance you can witness the stars, but there is a fewer chance. So tonight we are looking forward to the Quadrantid meteor shower, which will take place most likely in 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock next morning. And I heard there will be over 100 of them, over 120 shooting stars. So when the showers, the meteor showers, expected to peak on the January 3rd. During the peak time, the zenithal hourly rate of the quadrantids can reach 120. If there is a heavy light pollution, then you will only get to see only a few of them. they make for tonight. And some wishes says they want to wish their friend a happy life. And some say they wish themselves passing the national exam for going to work in the government. And some wishes say they want to live a happy life. I wish your dreams all come true. What about else? Some say I wish myself a good exam result and a happy emotional life. And now we received lots of location sharing from the viewers. They say some say they are in Deyang, in Yichang, in Zhengzhou, in Shijiazhuang, in Guangzhou, in Qingyuan, in different parts of China. So the viewers from across China are sharing with us this wonderful night. Yes, watching the meteor shower is a very romantic thing because many people make wishes under the shooting stars. Once you see a dazzling meteor shower, then it's a good time to make a wish. But if you do make a wish, you will find out that sometimes the time is not enough for you to make a wish before the meteor shower ends. So when I see a meteor shower, then I will ask you to watch it. But I'm afraid there will be no time for us to make a wish. So it's just a good symbol for people. Actually, I have a question because you mentioned we can see actually the shooting stars almost every day in our life. How can we make sure that the stars we observe are truly the shooting stars? Well, first, the shooting stars are very fast. Sometimes you cannot be sure even whether the shooting star is a shooting star. And sometimes the shooting star takes a long route. It draws a long line in the sky. And sometimes there is a colorful star. It can come in green, can come in yellow. So it's like the fireworks scratching the sky. Apart from that, we sometimes see the flights. It's more bright than the stars. And it has the green lights and the red lights, so it's easy to distinguish the planes from the shooting stars, and also distinguish them from the man-made satellites. The man-made satellites can move in the sky. Some can move very quickly and some slow. It's a lot like the comet. So if you see a star moving very fast in the sky, it's most likely a man-made satellite. But sometimes if it's not a plane or not a satellite, it probably is a space station. So how can I distinguish the comet from the shooting star? Well, the comet is the origin for the shooting star. Well, in the solar system, there are stars, there are planets, and there are comets. So the comets, after collision, will be attracted by the gravity of the solar system. So they will orbit around the sun. So when the comet draws closer and closer to the sun, it will produce some substances. So the substances, when it crosses the Earth, then some of its trash or fragments falls on the Earth. Then it forms the shooting star. So it is fair to say that a shooting star mostly come from the comets. So when you observe the sky, you mentioned we will observe the Orion, the meteor shower. So what else can we see in the sky? Apart from the constellation with your naked eye, you can also use the telescope to observe the galaxy. You can witness the Andromeda in the galaxy. So it can be observed when the light pollution is very small. You can use a telescope to find the Andromeda. For example, you can also witness the Taurus constellation in the sky using a telescope. You can also find a ball-shaped star group in the sky. So in our daily life, if we are interested in the universe, in the stars, I guess there are lots of photos about the universe and the stars. So how do the pictures come from? Many online viewers may say the telescope plays a big role in helping us watch the stars. But actually, most of the stars are in a big group, in a blurred group. So most of the pictures are produced with the cameras with a long exposure. So with the long exposure, we can get pictures about the stars. They can not be easily captured by the naked eye. That's why they come in a blur. But when they appear in picture, they can be very stunning. Now let's get back to our live stream column. The online viewers are giving us the likes, and they are sharing with us their New Year resolutions. And some said they want to find a partner in the new year, 2022. And some wish for passing the exam. And some wish for passing the exam to get to their dreamed middle school. Well, for the online viewers who have made wishes today, I wish all of your dreams come true. One online viewer asked whether in Haikou the star can be observed. Well, in Haikou it might be difficult because it has a low latitude. We suggest you to go a bit north to observe the meteor shower. I also received questions from the online viewers asking whether when will the meteor shower will happen. Well, the peak time for the meteor shower today is 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock next morning. So within 1 hour, you will observe the meteor shower. Sometimes it takes a little patience. It takes a long time for it to wait. and to observe the meteor shower.
在漫长时间的等待当中，才能观测出
So
大概
we need a long time waiting.
这样几颗的这个流星，但是我一定要耐得住寂寞。
So a long waiting sometimes can only help you see a dozens of shooting stars, but it's worth the wait.
在非常多平台的网友们都
There is another question asking who are watching, who are waiting for the meteor shower.
祝福我们全家万事如意。
Well, I guess you are not alone. We are all waiting.
网友都在我们这个直
Another online viewer wished the nation all the prosperity and all the best for the people. So I wish all the online viewers who made wishes today will have their dreams come true.
那如果说我们在冬天室外
Well, today the temperature is very low. So what should we do to help keep us warm? Well, if you watch the meteor shower in an outdoor place, then you should dress well and keep yourself warm. And you should take your equipment well. So you should ensure that your clothes and your equipment will keep you safe and warm, even in places that is 10 degrees Celsius below the actual temperature. You can stay in the car or stay in the tent to give yourself some time for watching the meteor shower.
我这个身体能受得了，但是我
If you stay outdoor for 10 minutes, I think you are okay, but you stay longer, then you will be freezing.
这样我们才能持续关心。
So you need to find a good place to hide, to keep yourself warm outdoor. I think for the friends who live in the south, you will find it easy to survive. But in the north, it will be less friendly. It will be more of a challenge. I used to chat with some friends. They ask when is the time to go outdoor to watch the meteor shower in the south. That will not be a problem for the people living in the south. But for the people living in the north, it is a totally different question because the body temperature can get lower and lower and much lower than you imagine. So you should be able to protect yourself from the cold.
那我其实还是想问，我们1月除了现在我们能看到的
So now we are in January.
流星雨之外，还有其他
We can watch the Quadrantid meteor shower. What else can we watch in January? I think we can watch the planets. On January the 5th, we will see the Jupiter, the Mars, and other planets, and Venus. And also on the crescent moon, you will see 3 stars lining in a straight line together with the crescent moon. So it's easy to identify the crescent moon in the outdoor space
那平时
in the south.
流星的话，其实我们是不是就是裸眼可以观看？
For the meteor shower, can we watch it with our naked eyes? Yes, exactly. I don't actually suggest you to watch it with the telescope because the shooting stars come fast and go fast. And I think to watch the meteor shower, you need to have an open space, but the telescope will limit your horizon. So you need to find an open outdoor space that with little light pollution.
那这个指星笔其实它
When I prepared for this live stream program, I took with me a identification pen, which is for identifying the shooting star. Well, you can use this pen when the telescope is out of service or out of battery. And for educational purpose, you can also use this pen to teach the people. You mentioned in January. January is a good season for watch the planets. You also said we can watch the crescent moon together with the Venus and the Mars, the Jupiter in a straight line. Yes, you're right. We call the moon in the beginning of the lunar month the crescent moon. So it forms a straight line together with the Jupiter, the Venus, and the Mars. We sometimes heard the formation of a moon and the star. For example, the Jupiter together with the moon and the Venus with the moon, they orbit around the sun. The orbit they pass is the moon's path, and there is also the ecliptic. So for the planets, it's the ecliptic. So they all have their own orbits. So on the orbits, you will find the planets, the stars. With your naked eyes, you will find them appearing in the same direction, the same place. Actually, they are not in the same location, but from your perspective, it appears that they are together. So the star and the planets are quite close for you to see. That's why you take them for being together. So there are a couple of combinations of these stars and the planets. Here now in the comment section, one online viewer says he wished himself a success in the college entrance examination. And another says he wants to get a job in the Xinhua News Agency. And another online viewer says they wish the best for the motherland and also wish for a good health and a safe trip, safety for their family members. It's normal for people to make a good wish when there is a meteor shower. So I hope people will have their dreams come true. Well, it has been a tradition for the people to make wishes against the meteor showers, and there are some beautiful stories behind. For example, in our ancestors have some nice stories. For example, the Chang'e, the fairy of the moon, is related to the stars and the moon. And also in the Greek mythology, there is similar stories. And the philosopher Kant says the most precious thing is one that lies in the heart, and another is the bright stars in the sky. You're right. So I hope all the online viewers who are able to observe the meteor shower tonight will have good luck and will have a great life. Now let's continue with the knowledge sharing about the universe. Do you watch the universe very often? Yes, we can watch the universe with our naked eyes. Actually, the galaxy is a ribbon of blurred star groups. It's quite misty. The best season for watching the galaxy is the summer, because the galaxy takes a high position and it's more enduring for observation. And in summer, you can use the telescope to find the star groups and the star clouds in the galaxy. And in summer, you have a higher chance to find it. We talk a lot about the constellation. We have 12 of them. Are they related to the astronomy? Are they the same in the astronomical sense? Well, we talked about the ecliptic sense. The orbit of the sun is the ecliptic circle. So it's divided into 13 constellations. Well, we have an online viewer who has made a comment. And the viewer said it's his or her birthday. So let's wish him or her happy birthday and wish all his or her dream come true. So the ecliptic orbit is divided into 12 sections, but we have 13 constellations. That's why we talk about 12 constellations today. Apart from the 12 constellations, there are also 76 constellations, so altogether 88. But the 12 are the closest to the ecliptic circle. So when the sun locates in certain constellation, then it's the constellation of someone's birthday. So if you are born on the very first day of December of the lunar month, of the January in the lunar month, it's Capricorn. Can we identify the Capricornus in the sky? Yes, but we need to wait 6 months. We have to wait for the sun to move into the Capricorn. So that takes another half of year. So why does it take so long? Because the 12 constellations orbits around the 12 the ecliptic course. If the sun falls into the Capricorn, then it's daytime, so we cannot see it at daytime. That's why we need to wait until the midnight to see the Capricorn. And that's because the sun's revolution. Can you recommend a best place for observation? Well, as said, you need to find a good place with small light pollution. Or to put it in a simple way, you need to find a dark place. The darker, the better. In the city center, the light pollution is quite heavy, and the skyscrapers may block your horizon. So an open place is a better choice. So I think we envy our ancestors very much, because the light pollution back then is very small. So they have a higher chance to observe the meteor shower and also the stars. Some may complain that in today's world it's not easy to observe the stars, and only a slight number of them. But in the ancient time, the people back then can watch more. because in today's world, it's difficult to find a dark place for perfect observation. If you try to identify the Gemini constellation, then there is a good chance that you might find 2 stars. But if you watch Leo, then you may get 4 or 5. But there is more to that. The reason for observing only 2 or 5 is because the light pollution is heavy in the city. So the horizon is blocked by the light pollution in the city center. That's why we recommend you to go to the outskirts of the city to find an open place, to find a dark place that will be easier for observing the stars. So if you go to the outskirts of the city, to go to the outer rings of the town, then you will have a higher chance for watching the stars. Now let me check the comments of the online viewers. Let's check what wishes they have made for today. Well, most of them wished for good health of the family and for the best of the country and also for their success in the exams. So health is a key word for the wish making. Of course, health is top priority for anyone. Without a good health, you can not accomplish anything. So take good care of yourselves, especially in this freezing winter season. So when you go outdoors for watching the meteor shower, do remember to keep yourselves warm. This is a very important tip for the people, especially living in the north. If you take your equipment, take your devices, you need to also keep your devices warm. Otherwise, they will be out of service. And the battery let go very quickly. Otherwise, the device will shut down very easily. So, for the huge fans of watching the meteor showers, which places they most probably go to? Well, they will go to places with little light pollution, with dim lights, with weak lights. For example, if you go to Tibet or Inner Mongolia, it will be a better place. If you go to Ali region of Tibet, Ali is renowned as the most beautiful place for the star watching. But if you don't want to go far, you can go to the outskirts of your town to find a good location. So the key word is less light pollution, and second is the broad horizon, right? So can we watch the meteor shower now in our balconies at home? Well, unless your balcony has a good direction. The quadrantid meteor shower takes place in the north. So if your balcony is facing the north, then it's a good place for watching the shower. Well, the direction matters because the meteor shower may take place in the north or in the south, so that decides your location. For the starry night, because the Earth is evolving, the sky turns a different page every day. but it rises in the east and sets down in the west. Let's take the Gemini meteor shower. Last year, for example, it rises in the northeast part. So if you face the northeast, then you have a higher chance of watching it. But the meteor shower moves to the southwest. But in the midnight, it appears in the south. So its route changes. So if it changes to the west, you need to find a place in the west for observation. So to my understanding, we don't have a fixed location for observing the meteor shower, right? Well, yes, that's the case for the Gemini meteor shower, but for the Quadrantid meteor shower, the location does not change much. It's quite stable in the north, and it's very close to the Polaris. So will there be a shower of the shooting stars? Well, in that case, it should be a rainstorm of the shooting stars. But it will not be as strong as you think. If that's the case, the zenithal hourly rate of the quadrantids can reach 10,000. That will be too much. Well, in an ancient Chinese book, there was a record for the quadrantid meteor shower. And China is said to have the earliest recording of the meteor shower in the world. So if it is very strong, then it is like the rainstorms. And the record is about one constellation. It's a meteor shower about a constellation of the Lyra. It's about the Lyra constellation. So we are interested in the photography about the stars. And sometimes we get pictures of a large crowd of the shooting stars. How do we get the pictures? Well, first, you need to have a very professional equipment. You need to have a good camera. And you need to wait very long time. Sometimes it takes you 1 hour or 2 hours of waiting. You need to keep shooting all the time. And that is and by shooting nonstop, you will likely to capture the moments of the shooting stars, and they combine different pictures together. Then you will get a complete vision of the shooting stars. So if you're lucky to witness the shooting stars in a rainstorm, then it is quite a rare chance. As said, China has a long history of recording the meteor showers. And even in some ancient poems, there are lines about the meteor showers. And there is a line about the Sirius in the Chinese poem, saying that if you watch in the north, then you will find the Sirius. So there are two interpretations of the line. One is that the Sirius represents the author's aspiration to reward his country. Another interpretation, or maybe more accurate, represents that the Sirius is a symbol of the constellation. So in the southeast part of China, there is another constellation. And that constellation is in a shape of an arc in full swing. Of the bow and arrow. So this line has different interpretations. Personally speaking, I prefer the latter one. So our ancestors have these deep insights for summarizing the wise lines. And there are lines about the winter season, about the winter midnight sky. The starry night in the winter season has many meanings. Well, there are 3 stars in the straight south for the Orions. In the midnight, right to the south, you will find the stars in a straight line for the Orion. Because in China, gate faces the south. So when you open the door, you will directly head against the 3 stars in the Orion. As we are approaching the Chinese New Year, some may question why there is no New Year's Eve for 2022 Chinese New Year. Because for the lunar January month, there are only 29 days instead of 30. But that is not a rare phenomenon. It's quite normal, actually. You know, the moon orbits around the sun. So the very first day of each lunar month, we see the eclipse of the sun. But until the next cycle of period, we will see a new moon. So an average circle takes 29.5 days. So it can be 29 days or 30 days. So the number of days is decided by a specific case. So this is related to the ancient Chinese law of the moon. That's why we don't have 30 days for the lunar January this year. So it's related to the Chinese calendar law. Well, thank you, Ms. Zhou, for sharing with us so much interesting knowledge about the meteor shower. And I can feel your passion about this field. And you also have your own insight about the astronomy. So how about getting off the car and see the midnight sky? Wow, now that we are in an outdoor space, I can feel how amazing this sky is. the mysterious
那在这样
of the universe
淡的假期当中呢，
is stunning.
在自家的阳台慢慢念说，在地
Now we are in the
流星，只要你选择的这个方向是对的的话，
New Year vacation.
家的阳台包括
You can enjoy the vacation and try to observe on the meteor shower.
那当这个流星
You can wait a few hours more. So when the meteor shower takes place, you can make a wish.
希望说今年的2022年的第一场流星雨可以带
I hope this very first meteor shower for 2022 will bring you good luck and all the best for your life.
愿望都可以一心
And I hope all your dreams come true.
那我们也是跟各位网友
That is
带着这个流星的出现
so much about now, and we will keep waiting.